Today's episode 9 of my regular feature where I share with you my latest purchases from the Perfume Parlour. I've got a 5-bottle extract spray haul to go through with you today, and I'll also be uploading another video tomorrow with another 5. So I'm really spoiling you this week with these Perfume Parlour videos. So to find out what's made it into this latest haul, stay tuned to Mag's Frags. Yes, hello again everybody, and thank you very much for tuning in to this special Perfume Parlour episode of Mag's Frags. I'm Paul, and this is the 9th episode in the series that focuses on my latest purchases from the Perfume Parlour. Coming up in today's episode are a couple of fragrances that have been recommended by a couple of subscribers to the channel, and there's also a couple of retro classics coming up as well to take us on a trip down memory lane. I'll also be letting you know how a really easy way to scent your home or your office with your favourite signature scent. But before I begin the rundown, if you are interested in picking up any of these bottles that feature in today's episode to try out for yourself, you can use my unique discount code to get yourself 10% off your first order, which I'll leave a direct link to down in the description. The link will direct you to a login page and you'll be asked to create a login name and a password. But once you've logged in and you've made your purchases, your discount will be automatically applied for you at the checkout. And as always guys, just a quick disclaimer, I don't work for the Perfume Parlour, I've got no affiliation with them, or I'm not sponsored by them in any way. So all the opinions that you're about to hear today are my own opinions, and I did buy these fragrances with my own money. I do however receive a small commission for recommending you to their site, so just by clicking on the link you'll save you 10% while supporting the channel, and you'll also be helping me to bring you some more free content in the future. Okay, so first up in today's haul is one that goes by the name of Sliced Apple 2, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1128. This one is a copy of Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Killian. The top notes in this one are bergamot and cardamom. In the mid we've got apple, rum, pineapple, brandy, vanilla and moss, and in the base there's cedar and ambroxan. So this is a bright and boozy scent with a sharp and crunchy green apple up top, which is lightly spiced by the cardamom. I can definitely pick up on the pineapple, but it's not heavily weighted and it doesn't overpower the apple. It just kind of sweetens it up a touch. There's a crisp, cool freshness about this fragrance, and to me it's more of a daytime summer scent, unlike Angel's Share, which is more of a sweet and woody scent for the cooler months or the evenings. I'll start by addressing the elephant in the room, because I know that I'm going to get asked this quite a lot in the comments section, and that's whether I prefer this or the Angel's Share. And the answer to that is I'd probably go for the Angel's Share if I could just keep one. But I do think this is easier to wear as an everyday grab and go scent, whereas the Angel's Share does have more of a nighttime feel about it. This one has more of a salty, earthy base, whereas the Angel's Share has a warmer dessert-like sweetness. So basically, you've got a choice between an ice-cold liquor or a liquor-laced warm apple pie, and you can just kind of take them both and have the best of both worlds. I really like how this one smells though, and I'm yet to try it out on a hot sunny day, so it may end up being I might end up absolutely loving this one, and in the right situation I think it'll be absolutely stunning. But for now we're at the beginning of February and I'll continue to stick with the Angel's Share. Okay, so next up is one that I believe is fairly new to the Perfume Parlour, or at least it's just come back into stock after going off sale. This one is called LXXI, or 71 for men, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1316. This is the 1971 version of YSL Pohon, which is now a 51-year-old classic. The top notes in this are bergamot, petitgrain, lemon verbena, lavender and lemon. In the mid we've got carnation, clary sage, Brazilian rosewood, geranium, marjoram and rosemary. And in the base we've got amber, tonka bean, sandalwood, cedar, patchouli, musk and vetiver. They didn't mess about back in 1971. This one is a masculine retro barbershop fougere fragrance that hits you like a ton of bricks from the first spray with an explosion of like dirty citruses and lavender. The freshness is enough to wake the dead, and it's eye-wateringly zesty in the opening, and as it dries down you get more of a dry herbal quality coming through from the base, but the lemony freshness stays throughout the life of the scent. It's very similar to the likes of Pour Monsieur by Chanel, or Tiger by Bulgari, or Czar by Van Cleef & Arpels. So if you're familiar with those kind of gentleman's classics, you'll know exactly what to expect with this one. However, I think this is slightly stronger than the other Perfume Parlour copies of the ones that I've just mentioned, and this has a really potent projection, and it's really long lasting for a fragrance in this kind of fresh genre. It's definitely worth trying out if you're into your crisp and masculine barbershop fougères. So all you barbershop boys, give this one a go. Okay, next up is one that a subscriber's asked me to talk about, and this one, it goes by the name of Joyous Wood. And the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1523. This one is a copy of Oud for Happiness by Initio Parfums. The top notes in this one are ginger and bergamot. In the mid we've got cedar and agar wood. We've also got some licorice, and in the base there's herbal notes, musk and vanilla. Yes, so this is a weird one because I watched loads of reviews for this fragrance when it first came out, and everyone was saying how gorgeous it was. So the next time I went shopping, I tried it in Selfridges, and I didn't like it at all. I don't know if it was because I'd smelled something else just before it or what it was, but there was just something sour and odd about it, and I never really gave it another thought after that. And I kind of just remember being relieved that I didn't go straight ahead and blind buy it. Then a few weeks ago I received a small copy, like a copy sample of it from the Perfume Parlour, and it was really nice and nothing like how I remembered smelling it in the store. So I bought this full bottle of it, and last weekend I went back to the same counter and smelled it again whilst wearing this Perfume Parlour copy, and they now smell pretty much identical in the dry down. So I was just probably not in the mood for it the last time I smelled it, or maybe, like I say, I might have just smelled a really sweet fragrance and then just not like this one compared to the one I just smelled. But I don't know, that's fragrances for you. But anyway, this is a really pleasant sweet fragrance with a soft toasted caramel and a light spiciness coming from the ginger. There's also a hint of licorice in the background, but it's not like an abrasive bitter licorice. It's very mild, but you can actually isolate it if you concentrate and you just go looking for it. I don't actually get much in the way of oud in this whatsoever. However, there is a slight, like a faint smokiness that does perhaps have like a charred wood type accord, but it's certainly nothing remotely similar to Oud for Greatness, which has a very prominent oud accord. This probably isn't going to be to everyone's taste, so I'd say pick up a sample, and even if you don't like it for the first time, I'd say just keep trying and keep persisting with this one, because it's one of those fragrances where you might just not like it at first. It might not be a love at first sniff, but it is definitely a grower. Okay, this next one was once again recommended by one of the subscribers to the channel, and this one is called Love BRONX. And the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1818. This is a copy of Number 4 Après l'Amour by Thomas Kosmala, which I don't own a bottle of, and I've never ever sampled the original, but I thought I'd give this one a whirl as it comes highly recommended, and I'll just kind of describe the smell of it as it comes rather than trying to compare how accurate it is to the original. The top notes in this one are orange blossom and bitter lemon zest. In the mid we've got aromatic spices, and the base notes in this one are amber, woody notes and musk. So from the very first spray of this, the first thing that came to mind was that it's like a lighter version of Baccarat Rouge 540 with the musk slightly amped up in the base. There's a definite resemblance, although there is enough of a difference for you not to kind of get it confused with Baccarat Rouge, but it is definitely in that ballpark. It's a nice, clean and interesting scent that starts out fairly bright and citrusy, but for the most part you get a woody, ambery scent with a mild sweetness and a fair bit of the musk. Everything's very well blended and it's fairly difficult to kind of really pick out any individual notes. And this Perfume Parlour copy has a really decent projection for the first hour, and then it becomes a fairly soft skin scent that will stick around for the next few hours. But it's certainly not a loud, room-filling fragrance. It just smells very classy. It's a masculine scent that smells quite expensive, but it is just like a toned down version of Baccarat Rouge 540 for me. So if that's something that sounds appealing and Baccarat Rouge is a little bit heavy for you, then this one might be worth trying out. Okay, and the last one in today's haul is another retro classic that doesn't seem as old as what it actually is, but this year it celebrates 20 years since it was first launched way back in 2002. This clone version is called Vicious, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0580. This is a copy of Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch, and it's the original OG Fierce and not one of the fancy night or naturally fierce flankers. The top notes in this one are petitgrain, cardamom, lemon, orange and fir. In the mid there's jasmine, rosemary, rose and lily of the valley. And the base notes in this are vetiver, musk, oak moss and Brazilian rosewood. This is a very accurate copy, and right from the first spray you'll instantly recognise that loud, somewhat sour and animalic scent DNA of the original. I've personally never been the biggest fan of how Fierce smells, and to me it has a bit of a vinegary, sweaty kind of smell that lurks somewhere in the background behind a really pleasant top layer, if that kind of makes sense. When you catch a quick waft of it in the air, it smells absolutely lovely, but when you're the wearer you become familiar with that kind of off-putting sourness, and it just starts to get really annoying after a while. But obviously fragrances are subjective, and this was an extremely popular fragrance back in the day, so it's probably just me who's a little bit of a weird and the kind of the odd man out with this one. This Perfume Parlour version is probably the best performing one out of the whole of today's haul. It has a huge projection and it lasts for literally hours. So if you are a fan of Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce, then grab yourself a sample of this, because this one definitely has better performance than the original, which is now very pricey. Yeah, so in summary, my two favourites out of this particular haul are the Apple Brandy on the Rocks and the Oud for Happiness. The YSL Pour Homme is a great classic lemony fresh barbershop fougere with great performance. The Love BRONX was nice, but just nothing to get overly excited about, and it was kind of just a weaker version of Baccarat Rouge 540. And the Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce copy is the best performing but the worst smelling, in my opinion, out of these five. Yeah, so once again, that's about it for this episode. But don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow with another 5 extract sprays to share with you all. I've also got 2 Middle Eastern monsters to review, and trust me, they are like rocket fuel, so you don't want to miss that one. But as always, guys, if you have found this video useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share the hell out of it, and to subscribe to the channel. It's also great to hear your opinions, your thoughts and your critiques on all of the fragrances that feature in these Perfume Parlour haul videos, so keep your comments coming down in the comments section. And if you've got any that you'd also like me to feature in future hauls, please don't forget to let me know, and I will buy them and talk about them happily for you. So yeah, just let me know if there's anything you want me to purchase. So once again, thank you very much for tuning into this episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye bye for now.